This is a massively popular question, and it's what is the best interest rate available right now? You know, I've never really found a great way to answer this question for anybody because, man, interest rates are tough. On the one hand, interest rates for your mortgage are based on the rate that the bank sets, but then you get mortgage specialists and brokers or agents that are able to use their commission to buy the interest rate down. So a real live example would be, say you get quoted, I don't know, today 2.99% on a 5-year closed. Well, a bank or a broker or anyone who's working with you to help you get your mortgage, they could use their commission to buy that down to 2.89 or 2.79. And so what's the best rate available? Well, it's kind of whatever a broker or a specialist wants to buy it down to. But then the second thing is that there's different products and offers that banks will have. And so a popular one is the 30-day close, which is if your deal is going to fund in the next 30 days, that the banks are prepared to give you a bit of a better deal because you're going to commit to working with them pretty quickly. And so because of that, they're willing to give you a better deal. And that's called a quick close. So oftentimes what happens, someone will be driving down the road and they'll say, oh, look, I can get 2.69% on a 5-year close. My broker said he could only get me 2.99%. And so then they pick up the phone and you try to work through the reasons, and the reasons are pretty varied. So what's the best interest rate available right now? Well, take a guess in the marketplace by going to the various websites that are out there. There's some great websites that post what the best rates are today. And then, of course, it's important to keep in mind that just because you're getting the best rate doesn't always mean you're getting the best mortgage as it relates to things like paying down your mortgage. Some banks only allow you to pay down 15% every year, but they give you a really great rate versus other banks that say we'll let you pay down 25%, but maybe their rate is a little bit higher. So as is true in life, everything is a trade-off, including what the best interest rate is. When you talk about commercial mortgages and business loans, it's even a little bit more sketchy because it's even less simple. Banks make a profit margin off of the amount of money that they charge you, and based on kind of what the bond market is doing. And so some banks will say, well, if we're going to fund a manufacturing client, we're going to add 2% to our posted interest rate because that's a manufacturing client. Or if they're in the business of, if it's a hospitality business, maybe a particular bank says, look, this is our 5-year rate, but because you're in the restaurant business, we want to add a few percentage points. So the question of what is the best rate available right now is really a difficult question to get a great answer on, but there are things that you can do. Figure out what you think you can approve for based on your own math, and again, you can use mlenow.ca to figure that out. But as you talk with brokers and bankers or whomever you're interacting with, try to understand what the variables are that are going to affect the interest rate. I know for myself, sitting with a client in the past few weeks, we sat with the banker and we kind of went back and forth on right in front of the senior banker that was going to be making the credit submission. And they asked, the client was asking very specifically, why am I getting charged this rate? How do I get it lower? And and the bank was able to the banker was able to walk this particular business owner through what the moving parts were. So you got to do a little bit of homework, you've got to do a little bit of research, but make sure that you are clear on what the criteria is for being able to get that best rate.